Hi, it's Erin McGuire, owner of Pure Light Wellness. Today I wanted to give you a video for the entrepreneurs out there or the people that are wanting to start their own business, particularly heart-centered or spiritual entrepreneurs, as that is what I am. I have been in the business, so to speak, of teaching yoga, of doing healing work, of doing life coaching that's got a spiritual base to it for about 7 years now, and I can say that I have been through it all and back again, and I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've done a lot of work and learned a lot of things through those mistakes, and I know I can really help people that are wanting to open their own businesses or who are currently stuck trying to figure out and spinning the wheels, trying to figure out how to make it work in a current spiritual entrepreneur-based business. And so I just want to give some videos on that to those that it is of interest to, because I know what that's like, and you want something simple and easy to follow. And so really today I just want to give about 3 to 4 different points on what I think are some really good words of advice to use if you are in a spiritual entrepreneur type business that is kind of feels like it's a little stuck or it's not really going anywhere, or if you're wanting to start one. These are some tips that are going to help you to really move forward with that. So the first tip I want to give you, which is super important and something I learned, and I'll be giving you kind of stories of my own self, things that I've been through along the way, as examples. So when I was living in Los Angeles, and getting into my business, I started attending all of these business meetings and workshops and trainings, and a lot of them are free. They're put on by people. They're free events that you can attend, and it really, for somebody that's sensitive and in a creative mind, kind of a right mind, right-brained thinker, it's really overwhelming. And so most people that are spiritual entrepreneurs, I'm not saying all of you, but most of you are going to be right-brained people. We're more creative. We're a little bit more sensitive, energy sensitive, especially if you're in kind of some of these businesses where you're doing energy healing and energy work with people. We're not the left-brained, analytical kind of people. We're more right-brained thinkers. And so when a lot of these business type events are put on by left-brain people that are very methodical and that are very, you have to do this and this and this and this and this. So my biggest piece of advice for you is pick one of those things and stick with it, but don't feel like you need to be the person that attends every single business conference and event and, spends all this money going to all these different places and buying these different programs that you never do because you get so overwhelmed that you start it and then you never finish it. So I will at some point in the next year be creating an event for spiritual and heart-centered entrepreneurs that will be very simple and basic and easy to understand, almost like a mastermind that we can do together so it's personable. But my advice is don't get what I call shiny object syndrome, where it's like, ooh, I need to go listen to this person talk about this training, and I need to go listen to this person talk about this training. That's going to leave you frustrated and overwhelmed, and you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to be spinning your wheels even more and putting even more on your plate of to-dos. So the biggest thing you can do is to just stop that. Maybe pick one thing to follow, one person to follow, one business conference to attend, so to speak, but try not to get into all the different pots. The second thing I want to tell you is when you're a spiritual entrepreneur or a heart-centered entrepreneur, most of the time you're in that field because your intuition is pretty strong. You're able to work with people on a level that you're feeling what they're feeling, or you're intuiting what's going on with them, rather than again, methodically figuring it out and analytically figuring it out. Because of that, again, these methodical steps of things that people tell us to do in business don't always work for us. And I'm not saying it's not valuable advice, because a lot of it is. But again, it gets overwhelming. So my biggest piece of advice for you that I learned the hard way is to really start being an innovator, meaning you've got to listen to your own intuition on some things. So if you are thinking about, somebody told you you've got to set up this funnel and do it this certain way and get this amount of people involved or whatever, you've got to attract people and through this certain method, so to speak, a methodical way, but it's not feeling right to you, then you need to listen to that. And I recommend meditating on it and seeing if a different solution or a different idea comes to you. Because a lot of us are innovators, and when we're following what other people are telling us, we're not listening to that innate wisdom within us that could actually get us where we needed to go quicker if we just gave ourselves the time to listen and follow that advice. So just try to tune into your intuition. See when things aren't working. A lot of times, it happened to me recently. I was going to do a weekend-long event, and every time I'd go to make a Facebook ad for it, I would get denied by Facebook. They'd tell me your ad is not approved. And I'd try again, and I was getting the same answer over and over again. So it might have been something wrong with my ad. However, I took it as a sign. I'm like, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about this event. What's going on here? And I talked about it with a person who's helping me in my business, and she said, well, let's just do a one-day event. The second I did that, I felt more relieved. I was able to still get that all taken care of with the place I had rented without any extra charges, so there was no problems there. And also, the minute I changed it, I had somebody email me saying they wanted to come. So I took it as a sign. This is what I was supposed to be doing. I was not supposed to do a 3-day event. I was only supposed to do a 1-day event. For whatever reason, I don't yet know. So things like, pay attention to things like that. If it's not working, if you're coming up against problems, take a step away, take a break, meditate on it, give it a day, sleep on it, anything, but give yourself time to figure out and let the intuition kind of speak for you. So the next thing you can do, it's hard when you can't read your own handwriting. Yeah, just the biggest thing is just stop trying to do what everybody else is doing. You're going to make yourself crazy. So please just, no shiny object syndrome, find one thing to focus on and go after that. The next thing is to pick one group that you can help. Now, I had problems with this all throughout my business. And because I do energy work, I like working with children. I've worked with children before. I like working with teenagers. I've worked with teenagers before. I like working with men. I like working with women of all ages. And that's wonderful, and that's okay if those people start to come in. However, I needed to have more of a solid group that I was putting my information out to, rather than to everybody, because, again, it's just going to get scattered, and it's not going to attract your perfect clientele. So that was one thing I'd been told, and I kept trying to hone in on who my audience was. Who are the people that could really benefit from my services, and who do I really want to work with? And it's kind of come into women, and now it's getting, even in terms of private clients, it's getting more in terms of entrepreneurs. I really want to help entrepreneurs to succeed in business in a spiritual or heart-centered business. And so it keeps kind of dialing down. However, I still work with people who are needing help in these other areas that I do as well. It's just as you grow in your business, things will begin to change and you'll shift. But the best thing you can do as early as possible is to find that one audience that really you feel called to work with. It could be elderly people, it could be children, it could be teenagers, it could be women at a certain age range. Whatever it is, pick one and try to stick with it and market to those people. Speaking of marketing, you've got to do marketing as a business owner in this day and age. I do believe a lot of things can come from word of mouth referrals. and that's the best kind of business you can get. But in this day and age, and with all the online stuff that's out there, it's good to start building a platform. So having a newsletter that you send out where you're collecting emails in one place is a really important thing to have set in place. I recommend MailChimp. You can go to MailChimp.com, and they do a free service until you have a certain amount of people, and then they start charging you. But it's a way to get people to start signing up so that you have an audience to begin sending your content and information to. The biggest thing for us right-brained people that are wanting to be entrepreneurs or currently entrepreneurs is to not get overwhelmed, because it's hard in this world of business. When you're a creative person, it can be very overwhelming and daunting, and it's important to just pick a couple things at a time to focus on. Don't try to, it's a mountain that you're trying to climb, and you're not going to climb the mountain in one day. It's going to take some time to get up there. So and once you're up there, it's like amazing, and you're looking around and it's beautiful, and you feel like you've made it. So just be patient with it, but do the work. The next thing I want to tell you guys is to have a strong why. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to help people? Do you have a personal story that has happened to you that made you get into the field that you got into, and therefore you healed yourself, or you learned something about yourself, or you healed a family member, and therefore that's why you want to give it to other people? Having a powerful why and a story behind it that's personal is really what people are looking for. They don't want to connect with just, especially when you're in a heart-centered spiritual business, which is what I'm talking about here. If you're in a financial business, it doesn't really matter what your why is, or if you have a personal story, although I'm sure that would be great too. But in a heart-centered spiritual business, to have a why you're doing this, and a personal story connected, is only going to intrigue your audience and actually help you hone in on your audience even more. They're going to end up finding you just from you sharing your personal story. Be vulnerable. Be willing to share that story with people. No matter what it is, be willing to share it, because that's what's going to connect you to other people. They're going to feel you through that story, and they're going to want to know more, and they're going to want to know, how did you get to where you are and help yourself the way that you did? I want to learn how to do that. Please help me. They're going to connect to you through that. So have a strong why. Don't make it loosey-goosey, like, well, I just, I want to help people. Okay, why? And keep asking yourself why to get even deeper and deeper into that why, because having a strong why is going to get you through the tough days when maybe you don't have any clients scheduled for the week, or maybe you're broke and you're not really sure how you're going to pay your rent because you're really trying to go full force with this entrepreneurial thing. Having a strong why is going to get you through the tough days so that you can really manifest a business and a life that you love. So really sit and think about that. Take a journal out, write what your why is, and keep asking yourself, well, why do I want to do that? Why do I want to help people? Well, why do I want to help people through this modality or whatever? Keep asking yourself why. Take about 20 to 30 minutes and just keep journaling on that why, so that you're powerful and strong within it. And know that whatever you've been through, that is how you're going to help people. The trauma that you have that's happened in your life, or that's happened in your family's life, that's made you become the person that you are and do the things that you're wanting to do, is what's going to help, and how you're going to be a teacher to other people through that. So really, really hone in on that why and focus on it, and know that that's your ticket to keep you going through it all. So I hope some of this was helpful. Again, to just sum it up, try not to get overwhelmed. Stay focused. No shiny object syndrome. Stay focused on one. If you're going to follow business advice, pick one person, pick one business conference, whatever it is, but don't try to go to 25,000 different things, because you're going to get overwhelmed, or read a bunch of different books, or watch a bunch of different YouTubes, whatever. Pick one thing and focus. And then take a step out of that one thing that you learned and put that into your business. Don't try to do it all in one day. You're not going to be able to do it, and you're going to feel overwhelmed, and then you're not going to do anything. Ask me how I know, because I've been there. Don't get stuck doing what everybody else is doing. Just because somebody tells you the only way you're going to get clients is if you follow this step-by-step process, that's not true. You're an intuitive innovator, and you've got to be able to listen to yourself and know when to follow somebody's advice and when to stop and listen to your own advice, or when things aren't working, when to listen to that and stop doing what you're trying to do and maybe reevaluate it. Don't have shiny object syndrome. Pick one group you can help and focus on them and market. Send your message towards them and then have a strong why. Again, I hope this helped you. There will be more videos for you entrepreneurs out there. My heart goes out to you. I know what it's like to be in business for yourself. It's not always easy. I'm here to help you. I want to help you achieve your goals and dreams, because having your own business is one of the most gratifying things in the world when it's working well. You get to build your own life. You get to have freedom. And to me, freedom is the most valuable thing on the planet. So I don't want to see you chained to a desk or a job that you don't love. Even if you're making tons of money at it, but you don't love it, that's not freedom. So I want to see you have freedom. I want to see you succeed, and I'm here to help you. For more information, go below this email, and you can reach out to me. I do private sessions to help spiritual entrepreneurs move forward in a powerful way. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.